DocScanFx is an application for adding clinical information as images to your PACS exams through scanning, file importing, screen capture, and electronic forms, and more. DocScanFx is built around the use of modes, which are packages of all of the options for how a particular workflow should acquire and store information as images. Modes eliminates the need for your users to make application settings changes for their different workflow needs, and they allow your document images to appear just the way you want them. Okay, well, let's take a look at what DocScanFx can do. DocScanFx right now is running as a standalone application, but we should note that it can also be integrated to launch from your PACS or your RIS. DocScanFx has several different ways to search for exams to add information images to. Let's look at this nuclear medicine mode that lets you search by a session number. First, I'll type in a part of a session number. Click on search. We can highlight the exam, see more of the exam information down below. We can click the plus sign or just double click on this row. And the patient and exam information is added over on the side here. When we're happy with the exam we've chosen, we click on the scan button. And this takes us to the screen where we're able to acquire some images. You can see for this particular mode, only the scan option is presented to end users, along with a few different buttons down here for manipulating the images. I'm going to click on cancel and show another mode. Let's say that we wanted to search by patient ID. In that case, I'm going to look at this ultrasound 2-day list. I'm going to click on select. And this time I'm presented with a search box for the medical record number. And when the results appear, I can double click on it and click on scan. In this case, this particular mode lets the users bring pictures in through two different ways. They can either scan or they can import images. I'm going to click on import. And for this particular mode, it defaults to a folder on the hard disk drive that I can choose images from. I chose two. Both of them were brought in. There's a thumbnail down the side here that I can flip between the different images. Using some of the tool buttons down at the bottom here, I could invert the image. There's a convert to grayscale button, rotate if something had been brought in upside down, and also a revert button that will take it back to how the image was originally acquired. And I can also choose to delete an image. Let's say that we didn't want to do any kind of search at all, and we wanted that to happen automatically. I'm going to show you a mode that's set up to do that as well, this CT Today list. I'll choose that and click on select. When the search results appear, you can actually sort any of these columns by clicking on the column headers. I'm going to choose this exam, which is a CTC spine. I'm going to double click on it to add it. I'm also going to note that you can click a second exam on the same patient, in this case a CT abdomen and pelvis. And you can actually scan documents or import images, and all of the images that we do on the next screen will actually get sent to both of the exams at the same time. For now, I'm just going to choose one exam. I'll click on scan. And this time, for this mode, you can see all the 4 different methods: scan, importing images, performing a screenshot, and also using the forms function. I'm going to click on import again. This time I'm bringing in 6 different images. You can click on the thumbnails down the side to go through them. If you needed to rearrange the order of them, there's options to move them up or down. If there's a particular image you found that was wrong and you didn't need, again, you can use the delete button. There's also the option that you can add in for end users if you wanted to let them be able to crop images. You can choose edit in order to take an image and jump out to an external editing program if you needed to draw on say a requisition form and show and indicate where pain was at. And then there's also a zoom button. So those are the 3 methods that you can search for exams. I'll also point out that you can manually enter all of the information if you wanted. You could type in the patient's medical record number, name, date of birth, choose their gender, put in all of the exam information, and click on scan. But there's also a semi-manual mode. I'm going to check that. And in this case, we're actually able to go out and search for a patient. When we find the patient, we can click on their name, but only the patient information is populated, and now we could come down and manually put in all of the exam information that we wanted. So let me go ahead and do that. This particular mode has 3 different Canvas study descriptions that we can choose from. I could either pick one of those, or I could manually type it in. For the date and time of the exam, I could either use the drop downs and choose the date and time, or I can right click on any of those areas and choose set date and time to now. The modality for this particular modality has been fixed at OT. There is an option to set the status of the exam. The doctor's name, and put in the tech initials. I wanted to point out that for this particular mode, it has an auto import function. So when this mode gets launched, it automatically goes out to a folder and checks to see if there's any images inside of that, and it imports those images in. In addition, it automatically applies the invert and the grayscale filters to both of those images, so they're already inverted and in grayscale. Note that we could actually undo that with the revert function, because the revert function takes us back to how the original image looked. So whether we're querying different PACS archives or modality work lists, users just simply choose a mode and are presented with only the options and tools that are relevant to the information that they're adding. This ensures consistency with your documentation because each mode can flag information images with mode-specific series descriptions, meaningful series numbers, and more. And depending on your PACS's capabilities, you can use these consistent descriptors to improve your PACS's workflow too. We've really only scratched the surface of what DocScanFx can do. DocScanFx's focus is on your workflow. It lets your users select what they want to do, and DocScanFx changes to consistently get the job done.